In 1976, I was a young photographer working for Time magazine, based in New York. The picture editor at Time magazine called me one day and said, "We'd like you to go to Jamaica. We're doing a story on reggae music." The person in reggae was Bob Marley and the band The Wailers. And I went with a reporter, David DeVos, and we actually spent an afternoon interviewing Bob at Tuff Gong, which was his home, his compound in Kingston, and to just kind of hang out with him and sit around and talk politics and music and what life was like growing up in Kingston. It was really interesting. It was very warm and welcoming. We just sat reasoning for a couple of hours. He seemed to be a man who at a very young age understood what life was about, and in ways that I still, even at far advanced years beyond that, I don't feel I have that kind of wisdom. I really thought I was sitting with someone, even though he may have been a contemporary of mine, somebody who really had figured things out. He was someone who understood that his message, the message in his music, was really one that people were going to listen to. About a year later, in 1977, I happened to be in Paris, and I got another call, this time from Rolling Stone magazine, asking me, would you spend a couple of days traveling on the bus with Bob Marley and the Wailers at the beginning of what became the Exodus Tour? Pretty much everywhere we went, the band would set up in a large concert hall with a lot of amplification, so the music just filled the place up, and it was exciting. It was a wonderful concert experience. You really felt, at the end of the evening, you really felt drained just having been there and listened to the music and watch other people react to it. Once I decided that I wanted to do a book project, I went to see Chris Murray at the Govinda Gallery in Washington. Chris has had a lot of work with photographers working in the music world over the years, and when he saw my pictures, the first thing he said was, "Where have you been keeping these?" Well, of course, I've been keeping them in my agency in New York, some published, but most unpublished, and it was that kind of reaction, like, we got to make a book with these pictures. So we immediately started editing and working through, and it took a while, but we now have the book Soul Rebel, an intimate portrait of Bob Marley. And I'm really happy. This is the first book of photographs that I've done in my 40 years as a photographer.